give you a bit of a background of where we currently are with the client. So the client is an old friend of mine, and previous to this point, I've already spent maybe nearly 2 months with him, talking about his business, spending time with him, spending time on premises, following him around with his clients, shadowing him, just to get a really good, deep understanding of what this business is, how it generates its income, and how it markets its products and how it sells. It's very important to be able to get a deep understanding of the business, because this then allows you to figure out whether you fit in with what the client needs and wants. This process of spending time with the client is a really important precursor to where we currently are at the moment in terms of me presenting this initial strategy presentation. So the first point that I address is defining the core objective of what we're trying to do here. So the core objective is for this brand is to enable it to build brand awareness and build market presence and build customer loyalty with a brand. So defining this core objective very simply allows the customer and yourself to have a clear direction of where we're going. Currently, the Woodford Dairies, they do have a logo, but they don't really have any brand presence. So also reminding them of where they currently are is important. So their current state is they don't have a brand identity, and they do have a logo, but they don't have any social media presence. They also don't have they have got a website, but the website is not branded. So they don't really have a distinct look and feel or character about themselves. It's difficult for brands that want to work with them, businesses that want to work with them, know what they stand for. But in exploring this, we did realize that the Woodford Dairies name has significant heritage associated with it. Almost 20 years experience in the industry, a very good track record of providing excellent customer service. These are all amazing things. So we're not technically starting from scratch. The Woodford Dairies name has got a lot of weight around it. So we can leverage that as well, which is great. We also do a deep dive kind of into the customer profile. Who are the clients? So initially, we do identify that the clients are primarily business owners. They are small business owners that are currently working in have started their own local supermarkets or stores, and they want to build a thriving business. So they want their business to grow, and they want to take away any kind of stress, any kind of possible hassles that they face out of stock ordering. So that's where Woodford Dairies come in. They do provide a hassle-free service for them. They stock up their shelves, they provide them with interesting new products to sell, and they manage their stock inventory for them, which is a very good service for these types of business owners. These business owners also prioritize high-selling products. So they are looking for products that sell well and also give their customers what they actually want. We do go a little bit further into the customer profile by defining, what kind of diverse sector are they from. They are predominantly Asian, men aged between 35 to 55. And these are the kind of ideal personas that we're targeting. Another important factor that I like to consider at this stage is, what is the USP? What is the unique selling point of this business or this brand? And when I spent time with the brand on road, with the clients, with the customers, I did get a very strong feeling of they provide a very hassle-free service for the clients. But the clients do need to put a bit of trust into them to be able to provide that service. So there's an element of trust, there's an element of taking away hassle from the client. Woodford Dairies manage all the products, manage the shelves, and ensure good turnaround and good profitability at the end of the day. So these things are some of the key USPs of the business. Woodford Dairies also introduce very new and interesting local and global brands to the market. So that's another USP because that's not what everybody does. Woodford Dairies have some sole relationships with new brands that nobody else can sell. So that's another USP. So these are some key USPs to keep in mind when designing the brand, because these are some of the things that we would want to highlight in some way. I also like to develop some key pillars that ground the brand identity in place. So these pillars, they're not too complex, but they capture what the business is trying to do. So the key pillars for Woodford Dairies is reliability, integrity, and progress. These three words capture the core essence of what Woodford Dairies stand for and want to stand for. So defining these very clearly in the document also helps the client understand that you get them and you understand the business. Essentially, where this whole document is about allowing the client to gain confidence in you understanding their brand, so that whatever visuals and direction you take matches up. An important part of the document is and actually talking to the clients in their meetings is identifying and then defining what a measurable statistic could possibly be to measure the success of the brand. And this could take many forms, but in this situation, there is a very direct and clear financial target the owners want to reach. Having a clear, measurable goal is very important from a designer's perspective, because design is hard to measure, and it's hard to put a value on because there's so much psychology and emotion involved with design, and how it can influence clients, prospective buyers, shareholders. There's so much influence it can have, but influence that is not directly measurable. So for me, it's important to have a measurable KPI, where we do have a target we're trying to achieve. And with this brand, we're trying to achieve a 12-month financial target. And hopefully within that range, if we do reach the target, then there's no way that we'll be able to directly say we were 100% responsible for that, but at least we played a part in achieving that, right? Okay, so the next steps, this is the initial presentation that I forward on to the client. It's quite short and direct, and it just gives them a very clear understanding of, are we on the same page? It's also very good because at this stage, if something isn't right, they can very easily say, no, I don't believe in this, or I don't believe in that, or we should change this. But because this document is so presented in such a simple format, they can very clearly see that we are aligned, and it's good and it's okay to progress forward. So the next video will be on me on my concept stage, how I go through brainstorming, sketching, and letting my ideas flow out of my head, and then how those ideas form into some kind of ideas that actually work. So that's an interesting process for me myself to record. Hopefully catch you there. If you did find any of the content in this video remotely interesting, or you've got any comments you'd like to make, feel free to make them. And if you did like the video, then do like and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you on the next one.